Welcome to another episode of the Fantasy Rabbit Hole Podcast. I am your host, CSD Fantasy. Hello, Fantasy Faithfuls, and welcome to another episode of the Fantasy Rabbit Hole Podcast. I am your host, CSD Fantasy, and I'm here with the one and only Nick Faber. How are you doing today, sir?
I am fantastic. Christmas special, so I'm gleeful. I'm excited. It's looking a lot like Christmas over here, so I'm having fun. You know, I don't have a gift for you, unfortunately, but I bring the gift of fantasy knowledge.
The gift of fantasy knowledge, fantasy advice galore. Nick was on a roll this weekend, just being right on pretty much everything you put your name on.
That's how I do it, man. It's the Nick Faber special.
Faber special. And here is my Merry Christmas coffee cup. We're rolling all Christmas today.
I love it.
And if you can't see me, that was Nick got Christmas drink.
Christmas whiskey, baby, all Christmas.
Christmas whiskey. Mello says that the sound is good, so we're ready to roll. We already have a bunch of people joining in the chat. As you may know, if you've been with us before, you can interrupt this show at any time and ask us questions, and we're happy to answer, as always. I would like to shout out our sponsor, Prize Picks. We had an event on Thursday here in Atlanta. I got to meet some really cool people. Please check out their new fantasy content. They do Daily Fantasy Simplified. Is a really cool project and a product where you just pick against a projection. There's no, you're not competing against me or Nick or anybody who spends their entire time off looking at fantasy stats. You just against a projection, and if you're better than the projection, you win. So it's very simplified. So I wanted to shout them out. It was a great event. It was a lot of fun. If you live in the Atlanta area, I'm sure we'll have another thing like that as well in the future. But we do have a great episode for you here lined up today. We don't really have any news to talk about. Last week we talked about Eli Manning being the only news.
And he came out firing, didn't he? He came out firing. Took a commanding lead against the Eagles. Anyone who needed Zach Ertz, Alshon Jeffrey, Miles Sanders to help him out were just like, oh no, the Eagles are not doing anything.
Yeah.
The Giants are striving. But all of a sudden, Ertz gets those final 2 touchdowns. Poor Jeffrey owners, shout out to anyone who needed Alshon Jeffrey to get 1 point to win. Couldn't even get that. It's unfortunate. Same thing with Tyreek Hill owners the week before, who just needed 1 point to get in the playoffs. Couldn't get it. Alshon Jeffrey, 1 point to advance to the semis. Couldn't get it. Shout out to you guys. Keep it up. You know, keep your head up. I mean, you'll be all right next year.
I was very unfortunate that I started Alshon in 3 of my 4 leagues, and I made the playoffs in 2 of those, even with starting him. I was very fortunate, but a lot of people I feel got burned by that one in particular, because it was such a great matchup too. Like the Giants have just been handing out, they've been Santa Claus with fantasy points to receivers.
Oh, great analogy. I love it. And that's exactly correct. For me, I went into it. I needed Alshon Jeffrey to get less than 6 points for my poop shoot team, who first 3 picks were James Conner, Damian Williams, Juju Smith-Schuster, not in order, but those were my 3. So I've just been scrapping and clawing. I'm starting Bilal Powell this week. I'm looking to start Peyton Barber, but for this team to just somewhat advance to play the number 1 team, who's projected to beat me by 40, so it's ridiculous anyway. However, for me to win, I needed Alshon Jeffrey to get less than 6. So I was, unfortunate for Alshon Jeffrey and all the owners, but on the, I guess you would say, I don't want to say the lucky side, but I would say on the other side where it affected me in a good way, where I ended up advancing in my playoffs, though I definitely should not have. So it kind of helped me out, but I'm glad you made it in 2 of your 3 leagues at least.
But you know what they say. You know what they say about luck, right? At least in soccer. It's weird that the more I practice and the more I study, the more luck I have.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. The more work you put in, the better luck you have, right?
Always, and it goes hand in hand. Sometimes in fantasy football, it doesn't correlate that much, but over the course of a season, it tends to go in favor of the more skilled players more often than not, I would say. Then you have always the luck of what the crap, like week 1 where my opponent who's never played fantasy, her kicker outscored my first three overall picks. that's
Right.
something you just can't account for. But over the course of an entire season, I feel like it tends to add out. You know what does add out up is all these people joining in chat. We haven't even shouted out Melo and Nicholas Carone, and they've been here talking like crazy, and I haven't said a word.
What up,
so
boy?
happy to have both of y'all here on board, and let me just say some stuff that they've been doing. Melo is still in the playoffs in one of his leagues. Nicholas says it's giveaway time. That is on Sunday, actually, where we have the giveaway. I'm still working on a little special giveaway, but hopefully it'll be the Amazon gift card as usual.
Teaser.
Yeah, and Melo.
Before we jump into shouting all these guys out too, appreciate it. Real quick, one thing news that does come up that just sparks my interest. Josh Jacobs isn't playing. Now Josh Jacobs is playing. Are you starting Josh Jacobs with confidence this week?
No, not confidence. He does have a fantastic
but if you're there,
matchup.
If you're there, Josh Jacobs is probably your running back one, maybe two. So
Definitely.
now, are you sitting up like? Would you rather? Like, are you sitting him for James Conner? You know what I mean?
No. But I'm picking up James Washington as my backup. If they all of a sudden just go, oh, he's not playing?
Dwayne Washington. Yeah.
Did I say? Oh,
James
James.
Washington.
Oh,
I'm thinking wide receiver for Pittsburgh. I was like, I wouldn't recommend that, but
Is it Dwayne? Oh, shit.
Yeah. But anyways, I just was wondering where your thoughts were on Josh, because at first it just looked like he wasn't playing. And yeah, Dwayne Washington was a great start, but all of a sudden now he's playing. So now, how about Dwayne Washington on your team? Like, are you can't start either of them all of a sudden. Who do they even got this week? Do you know? I don't know.
No, they got a fantastic matchup. They have one of the absolute best.
Jacksonville, yeah, they do have a great matchup.
It's actually, in my
you got to
papers,
start Josh Jacobs if he's on your team. It's tough, though.
It's the best matchup, in my opinion.
Jacksonville?
Yeah, this week for any running back.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm super excited about that matchup. They've been terrible against the run. If you look, like I always do, look the entire season, but then I adjust for the last 3 weeks to get a little bit more, feel of their current status. And adjusting for that, they've been god freaking awful against the run. I mean, it's not even. Let me just. I'm breaking on how much point it is, but it's.
Well, we saw Eckler and Gordon do it last week,
Yeah, and I started both of them, and I was a big proponent of that, and Eckler actually saved my in one league. But Josh Jacobs, if we're looking at his just against Jacksonville, here's the numbers. They are, if we adjust for the last 3 weeks and the entire season, 28.9 points on average to running backs. Then you have Carolina, 28.7. Those are the two worst. Then there's a jump
for the last 3 weeks, right?
Adjusting for 3 weeks and entire season averages. So
okay.
It's not just like looking at Miami, they're going to give up more points if you split the average the entire season. But if you're looking over the last 3 weeks, Jacksonville has just been terrible.
And to even add on, add Kindle to the fire here, that they had Tampa Bay in that stretch, and Tampa Bay is sending out Peyton goddamn Barber, like
right.
And
he looked like a superstar.
That's not that's a small sample size. That includes a poor running team, and they're still the worst because Derrick Henry ran all over him as he per
Always
usual.
does.
And then Austin Eckler, Melvin Gordon, and even Peyton Barber had a great day with two touchdowns and like 80 some yards. I think I can't remember exactly, but so I like the Oakland matchup. So you got to start Josh Jacobs, but with confidence, I don't know.
Yeah, not with confidence. Not with confidence, but more of a default.
Yeah, agreed.
Which is unfortunate at this stage in the year. And then it's especially if you're playing somebody like Derrick Henry, who has the third best matchup in Houston. Houston is also they're terrible, and he's playing them twice.
I know. Derrick Henry's about to lead the league in rushing yards this season. I was, way too low on Derrick Henry this offseason, and I will be the first to admit it. I did not expect him to lead the league in rushing yards. He's second right now, but like you said, 2 matchups against a horrible run defense in Houston. Christian McCaffrey does not have that good of matchups, and who's number 1 right now?
It is CMC.
No,
and then Dalvin Cook.
Is it Dalvin Cook?
Are we talking just yards, or what are we
rushing
talking?
Rushing yards.
Oh, rushing yards. Okay, I was thinking.
My fault. My fault.
fantasy points.
I don't know who number 1 is, but they don't have the best matchup. So
it should be Nick Chubb in rushing yards.
Nick Chubb, that's exactly correct.
And then Henry is just like 40, 50 yards behind him.
Right, and with better matchups. Derrick Henry's about to lead
better.
the league in rushing yards at the end of the season in 2019, and that is mind-boggling to me. I cannot believe it happened, but kudos to him. Well done.
Yeah, I actually gave him a draft. This is also why CSD Fantasy as a platform is unique, because we were extremely honest, both me and Nick. I gave Derrick Henry a draft grade of D. He's one of my lowest ranked running backs because he was ADPing in like mid 30, and I'm like, no. I'm like, I can get Mark Ingram in the 6th,
right,
or Derrick Henry in the 3rd.
Right.
And I can get Mike Evans in the 3rd. I'm like, no way, Jose. No way in hell I'm getting Derrick Henry at that level. Now, that looks like a steal.
Right.
But with the information and what he's done in the past, I was very confident in my decision. And I'm still going to stand by it. If you go back and look, I would never change that decision without the knowledge we have now. With the knowledge we have now, of course you would. You would never even touch like somebody like Todd Gurley in the first round.
Hindsight's always 20/20, but regardless, Derrick Henry, shout out to him. You know, like you said, we'll always call our own failures out. We have no problem with it, and Derrick Henry is one of them. You know, slipped through the cracks. Me and Carl both were telling you not to go after him, and it burned us. You know, in fantasy, I don't know what he is exactly in fantasy, but leading the league in rushing yards, kudos to him. But
He's 2nd or 3rd in total fantasy points.
It's pretty good.
For running backs, 3rd after Dalvin Cook. Who's
That's
2nd.
pretty good.
It's pretty darn good. I did want to mention another one that I've slipped through the cracks. I know I mentioned it in the article yesterday. Mike Evans is done for the season. It's completely done, and that is effing me. He has a great matchup. Who takes over there? Is it Brashard Perriman or does I don't think O.J. Howard is going to take a lot of those targets.
No, O.J. Howard is taking none of the targets. It's unfortunate. Not to say that they won't get spread out to the tight end position, but I think it's going to be more Cameron Brate. I can't buy into O.J. Howard at all. Like, that's that dude that I'll never go back to the well for. Even with the injury to Mike Evans, I'm not buying into it. So, no way on O.J. Howard. Sure, Perriman might get a few more throws. Give me all the Chris Godwin, though. Let's go. I got him in one of my leagues. I need him to just catch 30 catches, 250 yards. 4 touchdowns. That'd be great.
Yeah, no, that's. I was supposed to play him, I think, and then I ended up scoring a buttload of points in week 14 and got bumped up in the ratings. So I got a better seed in the playoffs and got to like, I'm not playing Godwin. Thank you. And it's sometimes you just fortunate like that, because I think he's going to be extremely dangerous in weeks 15 and 16.
That's what you need him for. That's why you draft him.
And it's crazy. But we've done a lot of talking, and we haven't really looked at the chat. So let's look at some questions. I don't see where the question is for Nicholas Caron. No, pick 2 running backs and 2 wide receivers and 1 flex. 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and 1 flex.
Boys, I love that y'all throw out like your entire team. And are like, all right, guys, just pick 9 starters. 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 receivers, a tight end, a defense, and a kicker. The flex, too.
Yeah, an IDP player and
and
also the Christmas gift for my girlfriend.
So I'm trying to start in this Devy League. Out of these 3 high school players from modern day, which one you think is going to score the most this week? Anyways, okay, so one more time. What was it? I'm ready to go.
I'm going to give you the running backs first, and you're going to pick 2 of them. We have Mark Ingram, Melvin Gordon, and Christian McCaffrey. So those are the running back.
Heard. I am gonna and so I'm picking 2 of these guys, is what you're saying?
Yes. And I'm picking the wide receivers, and then we're picking a flex with what's over.
Perfect. So I'm gonna definitely just start Christian McCaffrey, because you can't not start Christian McCaffrey. That's number 1. And I understand now debating the Ingram and the Gordon thing. Gordon's been coming up. He's been doing his thing, but he's got a tough matchup against Minnesota, who haven't been as stingy against the run as Minnesota, as we want to think. We think like Minnesota 30 straight games, not a rusher over 100 yards. So they haven't been as stingy, but they are still stingy. And they're just not a team I want to go up against, where Mark Ingram, he's going up against the Jets defense that is very good against the run.
Very much
respectfully so. And on Thursday, but I'm still going to go with Mark Ingram for the simple fact that the Jets secondary is so bad that Lamar Jackson could have a field day against him and be able to get up 28-0 by the first half. And at that point, it's going to be a Mark Ingram and Gus Edwards show. I like Mark Ingram just for his consistent 85 yards and a touchdown, and hopefully a couple receptions. I don't think he's going to do anything spectacular, but out of all this, I get really excited about this. Obviously, Melvin Gordon is the guy I'm starting Mark Ingram and Christian McCaffrey.
Okay. I would. No, never mind. I do think that Minnesota is a good matchup, so I'm starting Austin Eckler everywhere I own him. Melvin Gordon is lower ranked than Eckler for sure. With me picking wide receivers, I'm definitely starting out of these.
Who are the receivers?
It's Marquise Brown, Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, and Julio Jones.
Cool.
So I'm starting two of them, and I want those to be Amari Cooper and Keenan Allen. I have them highest ranked with. I have Julio for a higher floor than both of them, but his ceiling is lower, and he has a much tougher matchup against San Francisco, at San Francisco, to boot. So I want Keenan Allen and Amari Cooper as my wide receivers. So we're starting Cooper, McCaffrey, Ingram, and we have, for one flex, we got Melvin Gordon, Hollywood Brown, and Julio Jones. What do you think?
I mean, to be all honest, I'm starting Hollywood Brown over Keenan Allen as a wide receiver. Then I would have no problem putting Julio Jones as my flex. With Hollywood and Jones out there, to be all honest, I kind of want Hollywood over. But I'm going to go Julio in my flex, personally.
Julio out of these three?
It doesn't even matter what kind of league, to be all honest. I'm just going Julio for sure. It's the semis. Don't get cute. Start Julio. Ridley's not playing.
Yeah, I was going to say the same. Start Julio. Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, McCaffrey, Ingram, and Julio. I feel that's name brand right there.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're sitting Hollywood and Gordon?
Yeah, and I'm kind of okay with that. I'm a little bit worried about Lamar Jackson.
His hammy? You're just like worried about like the injury? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, if he feels the slightest, as a Ravens coach, I would pull him instantly. If there's just anything.
I think he's too much of a player for him to be. He's going to play until they're either up by 30 or they end the game. I don't think he's coming out.
You don't?
Not at all.
He's that much of a player, but you also got to think you're going into the playoffs. And
yeah, but NFL teams don't think like that. You know what I mean? Like, they should. You would think they would, but they don't. The guy's going to go out there. He says he's going to give it his all. He's going to be 100%. Until you got a good enough lead, you're not just going to, be like 10-7 in the start of the second quarter and have him if he like obviously comes up limping or something like that, you're going to pull him out. But like if he's just like, I kind of tweaked something, they're not going to be like, oh, hands on deck, we need to make sure we get him out. It's not going to be like that.
I'm definitely in the camp. If I would have been the coach, I'm like, that's my superstar play. We're going to the playoffs. Freak it.
Right, we all saw Boogie get injured in Friday Night Lights. Like, we understand that, but it seems like NFL teams don't. I don't know if they don't watch movies or something like that. And like, don't let your star go out there when you don't need him to. Yeah. They're playing the Jets. Let's let RG3 go see if he can win you a game in case Lamar Jackson's injury gets severe in the latter, of the 3 games remaining. At this point, let's go see if RG3 can win you a game. At least give him a full game experience rather than these fourth quarter showings. Like, I want to see how he can do just in case. You know what I mean?
They definitely beat Carter if Boobie Miles is playing. I'm just saying.
They definitely beat him if Boobie's playing. But
Boobie is the best running back of all time.
I think I said Boogie too, and I apologize. Boobie, thank you. Boobie Miles is the man, dude. That's what I'm saying.
Let him spin, and he'll get you to win. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Where is Rodney? Yeah, where is Rodney Mello? I don't know.
Rodney!
Rodney, I don't know. Is Rodney here? We got MathQuest joining in. Welcome to the show. We also got Ronald Wood. I don't think that's not Rodney though, but it's close. Welcome to the show as well.
I'm pretty sure that's a guy I'm playing in, or not playing, but play with. I think it's from my home league. If so, what's up, Ronnie? If not, my wrong guy.
Wood. I hope it's.
You got a doppelganger name, Sorry.
We got Golden Tate sucked and Alshon Jeffrey. They did. Bell and Jacobs and Juju Evans didn't want to play my 1 to 4 pick. We got Mello wants to know AJ Brown, Josh Jacobs, Le'Veon Bell, or Darius Slayton. We can pick 2. I think this is a PPR league.
Say it again though.
It's AJ Brown, Josh Jacobs, Lev the bowling ball Bell, or Darius Slayton. You heard that right? Bell went bowling.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Most definitely. Bowl 251. His best game.
Do you believe that? Do you believe that? 251.
I do believe it. I mean, he could be that good of a bowler. I for sure can't bowl 251.
My best is 190.
Yeah, I don't know what my best is. I was too drunk to remember it, probably. But I will say that I have no problem with him going bowling if the team told him
to stay away.
Play.
Yeah, no, definitely. I just think it's because the situation
about it is ridiculous. I'm sorry, what?
It's just because the team situation where they're making mountains out of molehill. The news media.
Well, that's what they do. Sam Darnold went out and hooked up with a girl after, so I mean, obviously, y'all needed to know that information. That's
like he's the quarterback of the New York Jets.
Right, right, dude. Come on, Jimmy Garoppolo was going out. I'm sorry. What was the question?
Let's go down this rabbit hole. What did Jimmy G do? We all know what he did, and we all know what he did.
Jimmy G's the man. AJ Brown, Darius Slayton, Josh Jacobs, Le'Veon Bell. Those 4. Pick 2, right?
Sir. Yes. And
perfect.
I think this is a PPR league.
We're gonna assume it's PPR. Sounds like a plan to me. My immediate thoughts here. Yeah, I feel like I don't want to go chasing AJ Brown's points, even though it's up against Houston.
Yeah, I don't like that matchup. I'll still have him for 10.
I'm going with Slayton and Jacobs.
I love the upside of Slayton this week.
Me too.
I'm going Jacobs too. They're the 2 best matchups in the league.
They got the 2 best matchups. Let's play the matchups, baby. This is how you do it. Like, you've seen 15. You are who you are at this point in the season, obviously. We see how good teams do against, opposing teams' certain weaknesses. And we can decipher that by and start the certain players at this point. It's no longer about just starting your studs. When it comes down to it, sometimes that's all right to do, understandably. But right now, out of these 4 players, I'm going with Slayton and Jacobs because of their matchups, because of the upside for both of them.
Definitely. No, I was just reading the comments. I'm sorry. I think it's a fight about the Mets going on. which is interesting.
What about the Yankees giving Garrett Cole a bunch of money? There's some baseball talk.
I think, Nick, how is Garrett Cole? That's one of the questions.
Garrett Cole's all right, man. I read the best tweet. It was Gary Sanchez says, "All right, this is the call for fastball," and he goes, "No, don't worry about it. I already know from the Houston Astros brass over here." So, Garrett Cole's a great pitcher. I think the Yankees got a hell of a deal.
Ronald Wood has Mike Evans listed as doubtful. He's now out. We have that confirmed. He has Zach Pascal on his bench. He got Robbie Anderson, Marlon Mack, LaShawn McCoy. Yeah, we're doing deep today. One of them, or is there anyone who may be on waivers you may advise on? Out of these, if Darius Slayton is on waivers, I'd rather have him than these 4.
Trying to look at the league real quick that we're in together, so I could even tell you, but
yes,
but it's not.
I looked over waivers; it's pretty slim. But the 2 that are out there is Zach Pascal and Darius Slayton in most leagues. Those are the 2 big ones that I can find with really good matchups.
Looks like the top waivers you'd be looking at would be like Patrick Laird, Terry McLaurin, AP, Raheem Mostert, Marcus Johnson, Tyrell, Rashard Perryman, Russell Gage, those boys. But to answer his question in general, and you said this was Ron asking this, right? Make sure I'm
Yes.
talking about the right league here. Yeah, but so Pascal, Robbie Anderson, Marlon Mack, and LaShawn McCoy. I'm gonna just 86 LaShawn McCoy immediately. Like I have no confidence in him.
Yeah,
Right.
at all. He's my lowest out of these four.
Right, exactly. Robbie going against Baltimore is extremely risky
He's
in
my
my
second
opinion.
lowest.
I can't buy into that in any way, shape, or form. Pascal against New Orleans, I like that matchup. And then Mac against New Orleans, I'm not a big fan of that matchup, but I don't know how this game's going to go. I have a feeling it might be. I just want to believe in like the 2014 me saying the Saints probably will make this game a high-scoring game. It might be more of a defensive game, which would kind of lean towards Mac favor. But for right now, with the way Zach Pascal's been playing, I know he got his touchdowns in kind of garbage time last week and his 2-point conversion, and it really helped his points.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Zach Pascal out of
He
everyone.
gets a lot of targets though. Like
Yeah, he
he's had
does.
9 and 10 targets in the last 2 weeks, and who are
I
they gonna
think Chris
pass to?
have a great week last week, and it was in big thanks to Zach Pascal that he
Yeah.
achieved that.
And the Saints doing the regular adjustment as always. 30.8 points to wide receivers on average. Who are those points going to go to if not Zach Pascal? Like
Right.
he's not getting 30, but
Chester
he's definitely
Rogers.
getting a chunk of
Right.
that.
Right.
And
right.
I'm willing to bet that he's going to have the biggest
And New
chunk.
Orleans against the run, though, they are good at that. So I don't want though I think Marlon Mack might be the safer play due to volume. In the semis, and like I said, I'm in this league here with Ron. He's got a great team too. So like he's just stacked from head to toe. This right here, we're starting just a flex guy that's probably not even going to have a difference in his championship or his semi matchup. So for that purpose, maybe you go with the safe route for Marlon Mack, but you're in the semis. Let's go with upside. Let's go Zach Pascal, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. We got Shane joining in. I haven't said hi to Shane yet. Welcome. And Joshua Alexander. Welcome to the stream, both of y'all. We have a question from Shane right away. What's your view on Washington if Josh Jacobs sits in PPR? I haven't done massive numbers on Dwayne Washington just yet. But I do like the matchup. 28.9 points on average, 2 running backs, which is obviously fantastic. So if they come out and say that Josh Jacobs isn't playing, I do want Washington on my team as a backup. It's slim out there on waivers, and I'd rather start James Washington than Dwayne Washington than somebody like James Conner.
Agreed. Like Jacksonville, like you said, Jacksonville. Why was I saying Jacksonville? Are they playing Jacksonville, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's why I was like, why did I just get on Jacksonville? Too much whiskey. Jacksonville has led up 2 touchdowns to the running back position for 4 straight weeks. We already touched on it earlier. It's a defense that is piss poor against the running back position. So whether it be Josh Jacobs, Dwayne Washington, hell, if they call him out and they bring in a third stringer, it doesn't matter who you're starting. You're starting someone against Washington. Hopefully, whoever does start, whether it be Jacobs or Washington, gets the lion's share of the carries, though.
Yeah.
It would be a bummer if they both get 12 carries.
Yeah, that's. I'm starting Dwayne Washington if they come out and be like, no, you're sitting.
Right.
You're sitting. We're
But
not.
if Jacobs is playing, or I'm not touching Washington.
Exactly. I think that's the key in this situation.
Maybe in like DFS, because if Jacobs gets hurt in the first couple plays, it'll be a steal and a half. You know,
because he'll be so cheap.
Right, not in season long though.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's a good play. That's a good play that I can very much get behind. We got Mello says tight end OJ Howard. Well, no, Nick won't play. OJ Howard, Greg Olsen, Tyler Higbee,
Ooh.
who I actually put in ahead of OJ Howard in one of my leagues, or Darren Fells, who I've been a huge fan of. I think he got a good matchup against Tennessee. They are the 6th worst tight end opponent. Seattle is the worst. They give up the most amount of points to tight ends, but it's not like crazy for the tight end position. And I don't particularly like Greg Olsen since the switch to Kyle Allen. I was way higher on him in the past with Cam because Cam just kept feeding him over the middle. That was the only person he could actually hit. Over and over and over again, they had somewhat of a mind melt at times. I actually prefer Tyler Higbee, even though I'm not a huge fan of his numbers, but he has shown up lately.
Okay, and so to be honest, I was kind of trying to
Howard,
flash through a few things.
Howard,
It was
Olsen, Higbee, Fells.
Fells was the last guy.
You got Howard against Detroit, Olsen, Seattle, Higbee, Dallas, and Fells, Tennessee. And even though Dallas doesn't give up a lot to tight ends, I have no trust in the Dallas defense whatsoever at this point.
No, the Dallas defense is piss poor. They have been stingy against tight ends for 3 of the past 4 weeks. It wasn't until last week when Chicago was able to kind of get them a little bit, per se. But if you're going matchup-wise, you'd want to go with Greg Olsen because he just got the best matchup. But like you said, the numbers just aren't there for him with Kyle Allen. It's unfortunate. It's just not there.
And I think he's doubtful as well.
Oh, right, is he?
Yeah, I think he's showing up as doubtful in some if on NFL or on ESPN. I can't remember. It's one of them. He has a D on it, like D for doubtful.
D for doubtful. Oh man, Carl's always dropping fantasy knowledge, and I love it, man.
I just wanted to clarify when I was like, he has a D on there, and I'm like,
but there's the cute. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, clarify.
I mean, those are some. I kind of have to say Higbee just because he's getting the opportunities mostly as of late compared to everyone else that we're like kind of debating here. I mean, when you have 19 targets in the last 2 games,
it's insane.
100 plus yards in those 2 games, but Dallas' defense is stingy. You just got to go with Higbee. Ride the hot streak, until it's over. If you didn't want to start Higbee and for some reason you're trying to talk yourself out of it because you just didn't like Dallas' matchup. Which I can understand, I guess, a little bit. I'm definitely starting Higbee. Fells would be my other guy. Though he's only getting 3 or 4 targets, he's maybe good for a touchdown against a very bad team.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. He's boomer bust. Fells is boomer bust at all times.
He has to catch a touchdown.
Yeah.
Where Higbee, getting 11 targets, shit, you don't have to catch a touchdown if you catch 7.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And, I just put in Higbee over Howard in one of my leagues. Actually, a league that Mello is asking about.
What do you still have O.J. Howard on your team for?
Huh?
So why the hell do you still have O.J. Howard on your team?
Because my tight end plan for this team failed miserably. So the plan was, I even blanking on his name, Jets tight end. I love
Jets tight end Herndon. Sorry.
Herndon, yes. So my plan was to play Jason Witten for the first 4 weeks, and just gamble that he was gonna come out and be hot early. And then
he wasn't too bad to start, was he?
He was good. It was working out. But then Herndon got hurt.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to start streaming tight ends. And every tight end has been pretty piss poor on the waiver wire this year. So I started writing Fells a little bit here and there. That's been working. Iffy, Gerald Everett for a little bit. But Chris Herndon never, he got hurt again, and the Jets were terrible. So that plan was... a huge fail, and I ended up with O.J. Howard, which worked out because he started balling. He's been okay for like 2 weeks out of the 6 I've started him or something like that. And it's... I don't even know how... this is the Week 17 playoff league. I don't even know how I ended up in the playoffs, to be honest. Austin Eckler has been fantastic. Davante Adams is just a terrible, terrible human being this year. He's just burning so hard. But we have, speaking of Davante Adams.
Real quick, Jason Witten, 9th best tight end this season. You would have been better off just sticking with the old Jason all year.
A lot of those points were early on, though. He's been pretty much stone hands lately with just I can't catch a football.
9th best tight end. It's insane. Better than Evan Ingram, Kyle Rudolph, Jack Doyle, Darren Fells, Dallas Goedert, Noah Fant, Ryan Griffin, Tyler Higbee. Well, not better than a lot of tight ends. Jimmy Graham, there we go.
I have him at 16.
Well, I have him at 9, so...
Yeah, I wonder what I'm looking at.
I don't know. What are you looking at, sir? PPR, or are you looking at standard?
No, I'm looking at standard.
Damn it,
that
Carl.
Makes sense.
Standard isn't even a thing anymore. People don't even do standard anymore.
I know.
You need to get into the PPR. My God. I'm doing this podcast with a dinosaur over here.
No, I prefer half-point PPR is still the best.
Half-point PPR is the best. I mean, understandable, but don't give me your Jason Witten 16th best when you're doing it standard, of course. for the 12 people that still play standard, yeah, he might be 16th best. But for
Not
the
even I play in a standard league this year, which is, and I'm like standard. No,
standard is there's no more than probably 7 people playing standard in the entire world these days.
And it's just unfortunate because then you end up with, what was it? Christian McCaffrey had like 11 catches in week 14, even though he only had like 60 yards. What is it? 12 targets, 11 receptions for 82 yards. All of a sudden, his points is just because he caught
That's
11.
a phenomenal day in PPR.
Yeah, in PPR. Holy, like half
Yeah,
PPR.
but that's an outlier. That's an outlier. That doesn't happen. It brings balance to the force. God damn it. We gotta keep with PPR.
That usually works out.
Yeah, it's worked out in every movie I've seen.
Order 66.
Oh man, my good friend Sonny Yang has that tattooed.
Oh shit! No, that's pretty awesome.
That's intense.
Speaking of trying to bring order to the bring order to the force,
what a transition.
Balance to the force. Jameis Winston and Aaron Rodgers. Who is the Sith and who is the Jedi? Who do you want in Week 15?
Give me Aaron Rodgers as the Jedi. I understand. Like Jameis Winston's just like he's so hit or miss, and I feel like.
Chicago,
Detroit's defense is bad. Detroit's defense is bad. I understand. But this is a game that the Detroit Lions will win to kill our draft position. We will win this game 20-17. Peyton Barber will have 2 touchdowns. They're without Mike Evans.
That would be a problem for Winston, though.
What?
Oh no, that's a problem for Winston if Barber has 2 touchdowns. That makes sense. Never mind. Keep going.
Right, and then Mike Evans is out. So there's just I'm not buying into him. Detroit is a bad matchup, but I think it's gonna be more of a run game. I think both teams are gonna like have a lot of running and not a lot of passing in this game. So give me Aaron Rodgers, who I understand is playing Chicago, but I don't know. I'm still going Aaron Rodgers, man. It's not so much Aaron Rodgers. It's more Jameis Winston. It's not you. It's me. You know.
And I'm going Jameis Winston, even though he's a little riskier, but I'm moving over more to a little risky. You know, he's a little dangerous. He's he'll pull out that red lightsaber and like go crazy all of a sudden. But then he also can take off his shirt and communicate mentally with you. You know, who is he?
Ooh, yeah.
I want to gamble on Winston this week.
He's kind of like Jameis Winston's kind of like the Anakin Skywalker. You get a lot of highs, you get a lot of lows. You know what I mean? Like he's on the top of his game, but the next thing you know, he's covered in lava and missing 3 limbs.
That's the perfect. I could not have said it better myself.
But yeah, so give me Rodgers. Let's chalk it up. Let's talk about the bets from last week.
Yeah, that's perfect. Let's put
these. In it. You just didn't even want to bring them up because I
was coming to it. Let me jot these. No, let me go over it and then jot these down. So last week we went head to head, Nick and I, and we had Golden Tate versus Will Fuller in PPR. CSD with Will Fuller, Nick with Golden Tate. Obviously, Nick won easily this one. Tyler Lockett, Devontae Parker. Obviously, Nick won again. It was rough. And Deebo Samuel, Amari Cooper, and I finally got one win to make it look a little bit better, which brings this up to 2-1 to Nick. I haven't tracked this too well, so I don't want to say too much because I think it's pretty much
even.
I think it's like
2-1.
I'm pretty sure. I missed to calculate one of these, so I think we're like at 7-7 or like 6-6, something like that.
Sounds good to me.
Which I like. And then we have the Knicks picks where Nick called Cleveland Browns outscoring Baltimore Ravens. Then you struggle with James White versus Allen Robinson. But then out of Jacoby Brissett, Dak Prescott, and Josh Allen, you said Jeff Brisket.
Jeff Brisket?
No, it's Jacoby Brissett. And you won that one, which I was very impressed by.
That was like a triple header, too. I had to beat 2 other guys out to win that one. So that's a double, in my opinion.
That's 2 points. So let's give you 11-8 for the season.
Here we go.
There you go. Yes, I think so.
Sounds right.
And then for for this week, then let's do week 15 head-to-heads. And what did we say? We said I had Jameis, and you had Rodgers. Aaron.
Also, we had one earlier. I'm saying Hollywood Brown outscores Keenan Allen.
Ooh. I don't even like Allen, but I mean, I like him over Hollywood this week. That's the issue.
I'm taking Hollywood. You're taking Allen. It already got decided. Mark 0, Donnie.
We got this one from Mello. Dak, Eli, or Baker. I know it's 3, but we can probably pick one each, depending on who we like. I prefer Dak. I'm not even a homer. He has better numbers. I have him from 18.2. Eli for 15, though, and Baker for 16. They have better matchups, but Dak is the better quarterback for fantasy, even against the Rams.
Ooh. Is he, though? Is he, though?
He is.
Is he, though?
Yeah, this is like you said, like one of these like games where it's just, we think the Cowboys suck. Let's come out and be awesome, and then go back to sucking again.
Well, that could be very true.
Yeah.
You think Dallas has to make the playoffs, right? By the way, give me Baker at Arizona.
Ooh. That's a fantastic matchup though, but it's good for the show that when we're disagreeing. Dak Prescott for me and Baker for Nick. Perfect. Then we have 3 because we like to have 3 because then we will always have a winner.
Everything good comes in 3. Our show used to have 3. Shout out to Carlton. We miss you, brother.
Yeah, we do. I talked to him earlier today. He's doing well. He's
good.
A little stressed.
Well.
We got Mello wants to know if Russell Gage gonna pick up after Ridley is going down. They don't sound too excited about that, to be honest.
You don't think so?
No, they were. It sounded a little bit like they were. Dan Quinn didn't sound too excited, to be honest. He was very down on the fact that Ridley was going to be out. And, doing the usual, well, the other guys are going to have to pick it up, but we're going to miss Calvin for these reasons, listing 7. And then you realize, like, they don't have anybody like him that can do what he does on that level.
Right.
Beating one-on-one. And especially if you can't have Matt Ryan standing up straight, that's going to be a problem if you can't have anybody beat one-on-one quickly.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'd say, yeah, Russell Gage. I think Russell Gage will at least get like 6 targets this week. See what he does with it. But give me the big play. Give me I got it right here. Alamide Zaccheaus. I don't know if that's right or not. Give me the guy who got 1 catch for 91 yards and a touchdown last week.
Yeah, and do some upside in that on that one instead.
Like better, I'll take that.
In DFS, cheap, like 2K.
Exactly, DFS for sure. And if I'm in season long and I'm sitting here debating if I should start Russell Gage, at that point I guess I'd probably just take the risk with Alamide and hope that he can get me a huge catch again.
Yeah, no, for sure. And sometimes you have to roll with upside. Especially you can probably find somebody better. I'd rather have like Cy Pascal or Darius Slayton than roll with Russell Gage.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly.
Even though I think
to answer his question, which is what we're here to do, I'm going to predict 6 targets, 3 receptions, 40 yards.
I have him for 3 receptions as well, and for 41 yards.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, so that's pretty crazy.
Seems like we are very, very connected on that one.
Definitely. That's pretty creepy, actually. We have not discussed this ahead of the stream, which is 41. You're just spitballing 3 receptions for 40 yards, and I'm like, yeah, I've done the numbers, and what you missed by 1 yard, but that's insane, actually.
No, I'm sorry, you missed by 1 yard.
Oh.
But I get what you're saying.
Write it down. No, that's crazy. If that's and then he scored.
With 40.5 yards.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
All right.
Next question, though. This is more of a comment. And I'm not too familiar with basketball, but Melo claims that Bell had a better flu game than Jordan.
Disagree. Great flu game. Bowling a 251 is no joke. Had he bowled a 300 on the flu, that
Then we're talking.
That might be better than the Jordan game, but it takes a lot to do what Jordan did. 103, something like that. Temperature. He was unbelievable.
Some of my best soccer games have been with fever.
Don't bring soccer into this, all right?
That's when you're on your A game, and then you can't play for the next 2 weeks. Joshua Alexander wants to know about Christian Kirk, Jalen Samuels, Pascal, or Will Fuller, who I don't trust at all.
Me either.
I don't trust him at all. I like the upside of Pascal right now. We're going to assume this is PPR again, I would think.
Agreed. I'm going Pascal, and then if you don't like him, give me Christian Kirk, but Pascal for sure. 86 Fuller, 86 Jalen. I believe Connor's going to play, so I'm not touching Jalen. I haven't been touching him anyway. But
I like Pascal. I have him. I'm struggling with Kirk or Pascal.
Like Kirk's got a good matchup, yeah. Like that's.
Yeah.
And I'm starting Kyler in one of my fantasy leagues, so I'm hoping that Kirk goes off for Kyler purposes. But just the way Pascal's been playing, I can't not start him right now.
Yeah, no, he's almost a must start right now, and I'm trying to get him and Slayton. I have Slayton above Pascal. I'm trying to get them. I couldn't get Pascal actually, but I tried to get both of them. Should I drop Evans if he's out for the year? Yes.
Yes.
There's no reason to keep him.
He is out for the year, not should, drop him.
There's just no reason at all.
No. If you're in Dynasty, do not drop him. If you're in season draft, drop him.
We have to go back real quick. It's half-point PPR, and it's not Jalen Samuels. It's Curtis Samuel. I just want to get that up. Does that change anything? Curtis Samuel.
Change everything. Drop everything for Curtis. Get Curtis in your life. No.
No. It doesn't change anything.
Not a thing. Not a
thing. Don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry. This is the Christmas episode, by the way. We might do another Christmas episode next week. I hope you like the backdrop. You got Nick's Sumo Wrestling Santa shirt. Christmas tree in the background. If you like the Christmas show, please hit that like button and share on social media to bring more attention to the show. We do have a lot of fun on these Fantasy Rabbit Hole episodes. And we have a buttload of fun because y'all are here and making the show entertaining with questions.
This show would not be as fun without y'all. That's for damn sure. So thank you.
Because we can't stand each other when it's just the two of us.
No, I actually don't like Carl. No, I'm just joking. I love you. I appreciate you.
The same to you. That's why I asked Nick to be part of this, because he's an amazing fantasy analyst and a fantastic person.
Appreciate you, brother.
And then look how well he decorates a tree. Like, that's talent right there.
That's right.
We got Jared Kurtz joining the show. Welcome on board, sir. You ask about...
Sorry.
You ask about Joe Mixon, Miles Sanders. Okay, this is a two-part. So those are one, and then we got Josh Allen or Drew Brees.
Okay, say this again.
Joe Mixon or Miles Sanders?
Joe Mixon or Miles Sanders? Miles Sanders.
Miles Sanders has a way better matchup.
Why would you start a running back for the Bengals against New England? I know New England's been struggling, but still I have them coming out to a big lead. Maybe not big lead, but a couple touchdown lead to a point where Joe Mixon's going to become obsolete. That Andy Dalton's going to have to throw. The Patriots will take away the best opposing player, and that is Joe Mixon. So, no Mixon.
Yeah, Miles Sanders has a good matchup. I'm torn. I'm going to have to do some more numbers on that one, because I do have Mixon above Sanders as of this point.
Put it in the bet lineup then, Mixon.
Yeah, I'm going to have to say Mixon, because I've followed the numbers.
It's in the betting vault, so you're taking Mixon.
I'll put it up there, because I'm like, I want to say Sanders, but then I'm betraying my own numbers, and I've done that like once this year, and it was terrible.
Yeah, stick with your numbers. It's always fun to see how the numbers portray, over your gut. Not and not to say that you personally at home Sunday morning would start, Mixon over Sanders, but as of right now, Wednesday evening,
yeah,
numbers show Mixon. So let's see how it goes.
Definitely. And then we have Josh Allen or Drew Brees.
Josh Allen or Drew Brees?
And I got Brees.
Heard.
He's playing Indy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, most definitely Drew Brees.
Yeah,
Because
Josh Allen
playing Pittsburgh at Heinz Field, not a matchup you want to go with. And then he's got a matchup against New England. Poor Josh Allen owners. I'm not riding him for the semis or finals.
Yeah, it's looking really bleak for him.
Right.
While Drew Brees playing Indy, that's pretty neat. That's pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to be. I think what do you say? The 2014 Nick wants this to be a high scoring game. I think 2014 Nick is going to be right on this one.
Ooh, I hope so.
Jared Kurtz, you're welcome. We love to help out.
Jared Kurtz.
We also have Olse 7 and yeah. I'm gonna call you 7. Welcome to the show, man.
What's in the box?
Yeah, I'm confused by the name, so I don't want to mess it up too bad. He wants to know about Odell Beckham Jr. or Stephon Diggs.
Odell Beckham Jr. or Stephon Diggs. Ugh. To be honest, I'm probably going to be leaning OBJ here.
Yeah, same. I just benched Diggs for Slayton.
Yeah, and exactly. Chargers a pretty tough matchup for Diggs. I'm sitting Cousins. I'm sitting Diggs.
Yeah.
I'm gonna continue to sit Thielen, obviously. But
and then I'm going Garoppolo over Cousins.
Yeah, give me Jimmy Garoppolo. I just picked him up in a league. I need him to win. In my poop league that I'm projected to lose by 40 points, I got rid of Sam Darnold and got Jimmy Garoppolo.
I think that's the right choice. For sure.
Yeah, Sammy D's been playing all right. He's kind of actually got me through the home stretch here and kind of squeaked my team in by putting up consistent 20 points. But it's time for the Jimmy G train to keep going.
Yeah, and I've got to give up a lot
against Atlanta. The big thing is Atlanta. For some reason, you never know. You never know. Sometimes Atlanta comes out here and lately their defense has been killing it.
Yeah.
I'm very afraid to start Jimmy Garoppolo.
But now they're at home.
They're very run game. What?
At home, Atlanta is worse at home for whatever reason. It's look at the Saints game. They go to the Saints. They're like, let's play the game of our lives. And then they come home like, let's be terrible.
That's true.
They were looking at Dan Quinn's home radio, and it's not good. It's not good.
Right, and now they're going from East Coast to West Coast into San Francisco. I like Jimmy G as well. Yeah, over Kirk Cousins for sure. So, and I also like OBJ over Stephon Diggs.
Same here, especially in PPR. It was 7. 7. What's in the box?
What's in the box? 7? 7. I don't know.
7.
He was an L7 weenie. He was a square. That's from The Sandlot, for anyone who doesn't know that.
Disney Plus. No.
Is The Sandlot on Disney Plus?
I think so.
Outstanding. Way to go, Disney Plus.
Nick shouted you out on Insta. I saw it. Did you shout me out on Insta? Yeah. No? Somebody shouted somebody out on Instagram.
Wait, what happened? I shouted someone out?
Do you have Instagram?
I do not have an Instagram. Sorry, boys. It's the one social.
Mello shouted you out on Instagram.
Shouted me out?
I think somebody gave you a shout out about your Twitter. I think, if I'm not misunderstanding Mello, somebody shouted somebody out.
If that's the case, much appreciation, boys. I live in Michigan. Come out, let's have a beer.
Or did Nicholas Carone shout me out? It's so many shout outs, so many
Nicks. Case, screw you, boys.
I'm going home.
I'm going home.
Thoughts on... Yeah, it was Nick Carone shouted me out. Thank you, Nick.
Hey, well, thank you, Nick. It's a powerful name, Nick. Well done. We
have one last question. And this is not so much fantasy as it is football related. And this is thoughts on since this is a football show too, we want to be talking heads, we have to talk about the Patriots recording the Bengals game.
And you know what? Throughout the offseason, you're going to hear a lot more, I feel, of us talking more about football per se than fantasy, just because, there's so much in fantasy you can talk about. But the Patriots recording the Bengals, I'm buying nothing into it. I want to believe that it was no more than just some guy recording 30 yards away from where he should have been recording and just recording for a documentary.
But why the Bengals sideline?
I don't know. I mean, do the Bengals have anyone that has any affiliation with the Patriots at all? Have they ever had someone step foot into the Patriots office? Probably. And so what they're going to do is bring it in and tie it in. I'm not buying into it so much. Like, and even if so, the Patriots just cheat so much. Like, it's whatever. All right, Patriots cheated again. Happens.
Yeah. But it's no, to me it's just if you're going to do this, and you remember from Spygate, it came out like what their like main excuses would be, and one of their main excuses was say you're filming for a documentary that we're doing. And then you're having this. It's just like, you're the Patriots. You're known for questionable things. Be more careful. Be more mindful of what you're doing. Know what team you're working for. If this is the Dolphins, nobody cares. If this is the Patriots, everybody cares. It's more about perception than it is, why would they cheat against the Bengals? Like, why? Out of
Well,
all teams, like, we desperately need to know the signals the Bengals use this game.
got to win every game, any given Sunday, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want to buy into it too much,
Yeah,
but if it is a thing, if it comes out where like this all of a sudden is a way bigger thing than I'm playing out to be, then that's messed up. Like that's screwed up. But let's just hope that it's not that.
Yeah, it doesn't. It sounds strange. Like,
Yeah, it does sound strange. And it is the Patriots, so it's like when Ndamukong Suh just throws his legs in the air and accidentally kicks Matt Schaub in the growing area. You know, anyone else, you'd be like, oh, he must have just been flailing around. But with Ndamukong Suh, you think, he purposely did that.
Yeah.
It's just with the Patriots. Any other team, this won't matter. Like you said, the Dolphins, it wouldn't matter at all. But it's the Patriots, so
yeah,
it does.
And I think it's all about that perception look, and teams need to be mindful of sort of like the stamp they have on themselves, not just like off the football field, but on the football field as well. Like if you're looking at like the Jets, and then you have Sam Darnold saying he's seeing ghosts, that's typical like the Jets perception. Like, y'all don't know what y'all are doing.
Right.
We know this. That's the perception of the team. So when you feed into that, and the New England Patriots, they're cheaters, you feed into the cheating like narrative of your team, and it's you do need to be mindful about that. And I think that's not just in sports, but that's just in general. If there's a narrative and you lean into it, you have to be mindful of people's perception when you're in the spotlight. I'm not saying, random people should be mindful, but, if you're in the spotlight and there's a perception of you, you might want to be a little bit more careful.
For sure. It's easier said than done.
Yeah.
We all like to say and sit back and be an armchair GM and say what we should and couldn't do and what we would have done and what we would do. But it is what it is. Right now, as of right now, it doesn't seem like it's too big a deal. But if it comes out to be anything more, then yeah, obviously we'll continue to talk about it. But right now, I just feel like there's no reason to speculate on something that, as of right now, the articles show that nothing happened.
Yeah. And we actually have a fantasy question coming in before we head out. So I think we should end with a positive note on a fantasy question from Chauncey TV joining in late. Are y'all starting Robbie Anderson tomorrow? Anderson in half-point PPR, or would you use Smoke Brown, John Brown,
I love me
Devontae Freeman for flex? These are basically the three he's choosing between. Half-point PPR.
Definitely not starting Devonta Freeman.
Yeah, no.
He's the last guy on my list. And it was Robbie and/or who?
John Brown.
Smoke, that's right.
Smoke. I'm starting Smoke. Smoke. I don't like the Baltimore matchup.
Mushrooms, dude. I tell you what.
Wait,
I don't like it.
I seem to have Robbie Anderson playing for the wrong team. No, I don't. Never mind. I don't like the Baltimore matchup for Robbie Anderson.
I know. I don't like that Baltimore matchup either, but I don't like the Pittsburgh matchup for old Smokey.
But he's sneaky though. He'll get his yards.
Give me Smokey because he's playing at Sunday night, and if all else fails, you'll have some hope for Sunday night football.
Yeah, I hate Thursday.
Wait, what? Thursday?
Yeah, Anderson.
Thursday because it comes right. Yeah, dude, I know. Believe me, I know. Me too. But I love I love Sunday nights, and I love Monday nights because it gives you that hope.
That hope. Episode 4.
I just need 17, you know what I mean? Whatever it is.
But you should never watch Monday Night Football if you want points, because it will never happen. We talked about this last week as well. Absolutely. But
Absolutely.
we're going to sign off for this week's show. It's been fantastic. Thank you all so much for joining us here today. I think we have one of our better shows and our first Christmas show, which is fun. That's like a little milestone right there.
Yeah.
And
Merry Christmas, baby. No, we'll be back for another episode before Christmas.
yeah, definitely. There's one next Wednesday, so we'll be on again. Don't forget to check out Nick on Twitter at
Nick Faber NFL. Always doing a bunch of shows, but just check me out on Twitter and follow me, and let's talk football. I love it.
100%. And don't forget to go to CST Fantasy for more playoff preparation content. Also, check out more content here on the YouTube channel. There will be another video coming out this week. And don't forget the live stream 12 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday, where it will be even more start-sit questions. But for the Fantasy Rabbit Hole, I'm signing off. And Nick Faber, see you next time.
See you later. Peace.